Sanguines are always looking for an opportunity to have fun. And in this podcast, we are going to further discover the natural wiring of a true sanguine. After listening to the 4 temperament summaries I outlined in my podcast titled Wired Step 2, you may already be labeling yourself as this particular temperament. However, I urge you not to box yourself into believing you are solely a sanguine, as nearly all of us are a blend of at least 2 of the 4 temperaments. For your benefit, I created a document titled Character Traits and posted it under the Downloads tab of my website, thriveintherealworld.com. As you listen to this podcast, use the document to follow along, focusing on the Sanguines column. Circle any of the words or phrases as described in this podcast that speak directly to you. Let's begin. Sanguines are affectionate, playful, and live life to the fullest. They speak the language of people and fun and influence their environment by encouraging and persuading others to join. They have an active, positive movement and will either try to change a negative situation or flee far from it. Sanguines tend to be very optimistic, enthusiastic, and expressive. They are natural storytellers focused on creating the most interesting narrative, even if it means foregoing the facts. Repeating themselves often, sanguines will exaggerate, elaborate, and reconstruct a story to accomplish the most dramatic effect. Sanguines have the potential for the widest range of behavior due to possessing a roller coaster of emotions. This can be quite overwhelming to the other temperaments. As compulsive talkers, sanguines are poor listeners and tend to dominate conversations, even to the extent of answering for others. Never hesitating to interrupt, they openly share their thoughts and feelings. And when those thoughts suddenly pop into their heads, sanguines quickly speak before thinking. Sanguines enjoy competition and usually like sports of any kind because of their natural desire to be active and part of a team. As extroverts, they thrive on participating in social gatherings and are the cheerleaders of the group. They are easy to talk to, and without effort, they accept everyone they meet, usually with a friendly hug. They are non-judgmental, avoid holding grudges, and oftentimes are too trusting. But watch out! Sanguines are prone to gossip. It is not unusual to feel as if you have known a sanguine for years after meeting for just the first time. Sanguines can get so involved in conversations that they easily forget about the time and are often late arriving at their next destination. They are disorganized, forgetful, and lack follow-through, making excuses and complaining along the way. Sanguines make friends easily and quickly, yet rarely take the time to build deep relationships. They are easily bored if not involved in a social activity, and can change their focus in an instant, easily bouncing from one thing to another. Their attention span is based on whether or not they are interested in a person or event. Unfortunately, they can come across as phony, vain, and self-centered. In addition, making or keeping commitments is not easy for a sanguine. Sanguines fear rejection, not making a favorable impression, and being perceived as unsuccessful. Therefore, popularity is extremely important to a sanguine. They enjoy dressing according to the current fashion trends and are by far the most versatile of the 4 temperaments. The choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholy are all limited in what they can do, but not the sanguine. They adapt well to a changing environment, are lighthearted, and can be quite charming. Hopefully, after listening to this podcast, along with the other 3 podcasts individually titled Choleric, Phlegmatic, and Melancholy, you have been able to circle quite a few words and phrases listed on the Character Traits document. The ultimate goal is for you to narrow down your selections to reveal your dominant character traits, as these are the ones that influence the way you relate and communicate on a daily basis. Check out my next 2 podcasts titled 7 Areas Part 1 and 7 Areas Part 2, where I compare cholerics to sanguines and phlegmatics to melancholies. I believe you will not only see yourself in some of the descriptions, but might just recognize a few people you know.